Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Kayla. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy yourself or find something that you like. And if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to turn on my post notification to be reminded every single time that I upload a video like this, and share it with your friends and family. So, from anyone that normally watches my videos, you probably are confused because I don't ever do like book type thingies. I do book series reviews sometimes. I started it with the After series and then didn't really continue it, but I decided during a late night session with myself that I was going to start what we're gonna call Book Talk Tuesdays. So every single Tuesday we are going to be doing our makeup together and talking about either a book or a book series, a standalone, like I said, a series, anything. I'm probably gonna be talking about most of them that I've already read, just to get the ball rolling, if you will. If you guys have any suggestions of books that you guys want me to read so we can discuss them or talk about them, then let me know. Also, be sure to follow my Goodreads account so you can stay updated on what books that I'm currently reading or books that I'm wanting to read. Follow me on Instagram because I will be for sure posting on there a lot now. And yeah, so if you guys want to see more videos, just let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite books are. What are some books that make you sad? What are some books that make you happy? What got you into reading in the first place? But without further ado, I'm going to go to my bare face and I'll see you there. So I'm going to be starting out with a few different moisturizers and primers to get my face ready for everything I'm about to put on it. I'm going to do a tag because I wanted you guys to get to know my style more as far as what I read and the genre and all that type of jazz. And maybe this will give you more of an insight to who I am as a person and what I like to read. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to be reading some of the questions from the mid-year freakout tag on YouTube that I've seen going around. So let's just get started on this makeup and answer some questions. So the first question is, best book you've read so far in 2020? This one is kind of like a two-part answer for me. I'm gonna do, well, yeah. So this is a two-part answer for me because I read a bunch of books at the beginning of the year and I fell in love with this one series and then got addicted to another series. So, anyways, so the books that I liked is I definitely for sure found interest in Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. That is one of my favorite books. I mention that all the time, especially on my podcast. If you guys didn't know, link in description to my podcast.
Basically, she's trying to say here, but she just can't really get it out, is that she saw the trailer to After. And what did your mama say? What did your mama say?
I saw the After trailer. This is before I paid for ads on YouTube because I was broke. Still broke, but you know, $5.99 is not too bad, I guess. I watched the After trailer and I went to Kroger and saw the book, and my sister was like, hey, like this is a Wattpad smut book. And I was like, what the fuck is smut? And she was like, sex. And I was like, okay, great, love that for me, so I'm gonna buy it. So I bought it because love that. Find it on Spotify and SoundCloud. We are working on getting it on Apple Music, but there's some things going on. But anyways, over there I talk about books with one of my dear friends, Abby, that I met off of Book Twitter, actually. And yeah, so if you want to hear more of me and my crazy life, just go download our podcast. So Hopeless has become a big part of my life. I'm obsessed with Hopeless. The story itself is just insane. Insane in the best way possible. Oh my god, that book definitely changed my life. It's one of those books, it's right here, this lovely little baby. Every time a friend comes over my house, they're always like, oh my god, look at your books, whatever. And then after they have a freak out about it, they're like, okay, like, oh, you have the After series or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but like, read this one. Along with that, I would definitely say the Selection series. I'm obsessed with the Selection series. It's one of my favorites. I don't have all the books, so we're just gonna not make a comment about that, but when I get all the books, that shelf will be complete. But anyways, so those are probably my favorites that I've read this year. If you're big into the Bachelor style type books or the Bachelorette, I definitely recommend the Selection series. It's definitely a different type of book, but it's so good. I'm obsessed with it. It's so good. Now going in with all of my base type products, or my foundation, whatever you want to call it. So the next question is, what is the best sequel you've read so far in 2020? And this one, like the first one, I feel like any book lover is going to be like this with every question, but it's really like there's so many books that you end up reading throughout a year that even going halfway through the book, you're gonna have new favorites, you know what I mean? So for sure the first one that comes to my mind is Losing Hope. And that's only because Hopeless like killed me. When I read that, oh my god, Colleen, the way she writes, like, I'm gonna cry thinking about it. But it's also up here for anyone that was wondering. The other one that I'm thinking of is the second book in the Speak series. It's by Stephanie Perkins. If anyone hasn't read it, you should definitely read it. The second book in the series is Lola and the Boy Next Door. It's such a cute coming of age story. I definitely love that one. Losing Hope is the second kind of, it's like the flopped version of Hopeless. It's from Dean's perspective rather than it being from Sky's perspective, which I think I appreciated a lot more, because not the book itself, but I appreciated the fact that Colleen just wasn't like, you know what, let's just hear it from the girl's perspective, this girl's perspective. It was definitely one of those books that I was like, oh my god, like it really makes you think that like some boys, you know, go through this. Like, okay, while I'm still beating my face, number 3 is new release you haven't read yet but want to. That, I feel like this is like just a big freaking love story to Colleen Hoover, but her books are amazing, everybody. Anyways, the one that's drawn my eyes the most, it would have to be Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. It was I want to say it was published August 19th or something like that. I have way too many books on my TBR right now, so I don't exactly have the time to go and just pick it up and read it. I also want to know if you like Colleen Hoover's books, since I've mentioned 20 of them in the past 15 minutes. Comment down below what your favorite Colleen Hoover books are, and if you even like Colleen Hoover, and if you don't, then why don't you like Colleen Hoover? And so number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I'm not gonna lie, I usually don't really find out about releases until book Twitter posts them, and no one's posted anything yet as far as like releases for the second half of the year. I would, however, like to say, if Anna Todd any day now would like to post the extra bit that she says she has on Hardin and Tessa's relationship, I would gladly appreciate it. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm a huge After fan. It's actually how I started, you know, reading again. I feel like a lot of people don't know that. Quick summary of my story as far as reading goes. I hated reading. I was one of those people in school. Hated reading. You couldn't get me to do anything, pick up a book. It literally couldn't even, I just didn't like it. And it wasn't until wasn't until last year, early in like maybe February, before the movie came out, might I add. My sister and I were at Kroger, which is a grocery store in Nashville, for anyone that doesn't know what that is. I was like, oh my god, this is smut. And I was like, what is smut? And she was like, oh, it's basically sex. And I was like, okay, cute. So needless to say, I picked it up and read it after I saw the movie, which was later to be released in April. So that's how I got my little debut going with After. But so Anna has said tons of times that she has like extra bits on Hardin and Tessa's relationship, and that maybe one day she'll release it. And just because, for anyone that hasn't read the series, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you have watched my After series, then I guess technically it's not spoiling. But I guess if you have watched my After series on YouTube, then you probably already know what I'm talking about. But there's just certain ways that she wrote the book and ended it that just don't sit right with me. So, Anna Darling. I look like James Charles. Anyways, Anna Darling, I'll take that book. Next, we're doing eyebrows. I used to go insane with my eyebrows, but now I just comb them and stick a gel on them. So for anyone that's like, oh my god, she's not about to do her eyebrows, I'm not going all crazy anymore, y'all. So number 5 is biggest disappointment. And I feel like I'm gonna get so much hate for this. Maybe not. Kind of had 2. I have, my first one is Colleen, one of Colleen's books. Everyone kept telling me, Kayla, you need to read Ugly Love. It's so good. And I was just like, okay, like I'll add it to my TBR. I found it at Books A Million one day when I was browsing, if you will. And I bought it because I was like, oh my god, it's such like a highly requested one to read. So I read it. And I don't know if it's because halfway through I understood what was going to happen in the end. So I didn't even ruin it for myself because it wasn't a spoiler. It's just, I knew what was coming because, hello, it's obvious. Ugly Love just wasn't the book for me. I love it and I'll tell anybody to read it because there's certain parts in the series that just hit you. But I wouldn't, it's not my favorite. Is The Dare by Elle Kennedy. I feel like a lot of people aren't gonna expect me to say that because I'm a huge Elle Kennedy fan. I love Off Campus and Briar U so much, but the way she ended the series just didn't sit right with me. Like, Elle is so talented. It just, the way she writes just like sucks you in and it makes you feel like you're friends with these people. And I just really didn't feel like the ending was not what I wanted. Like, I wanted it to be something, I'm not gonna spoil it just in case anybody wants to read it. But if you guys want me to do like a whole off-campus series or something, let me know because girl, I got you. Okay, I'm going in with the eyes with the Jaclyn Hill palette. Looks like this for anyone that didn't know. While I do my eyeshadow, I'm gonna be answering number 6 for you, which is biggest surprise. This one, I know right out the back exactly what book it is. So the biggest surprise for me was reading, brace yourself children, A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. Oh my god, that book killed me. To be honest though, it doesn't kill you until it gets to the very end. I feel like, which is good because then you can't spoil anything for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you actually have to read it. Which I feel like, you know, most people are gonna be like, duh, but like, I'm serious. Like, some people would just skip to the end. But like, this isn't technically the end. Like, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But like, for anyone that doesn't know what I mean, I'm just gonna shut up now. But basically, that's my answer as far as that goes. That book, it ruined me. Like, I honestly, I don't know how I made it out of that one alive, I'm not gonna lie. So number 7 is favorite author, excuse me, favorite new author, debut or new to you. If I didn't say Stephanie Perkins, because she's the one that wrote the Speak series and I loved that series. But technically that's not a new author, so if I have to say a new author, I haven't yet read her books, but just from looking at it and hearing the reviews, I know I'm gonna like them, is Abby Glines. I'm really excited to read her Until Friday Night series. I actually have 2 of the books because I'm so excited to read them, and then I was in the clearance section of Books A Million and she had two of her books were on sale. I'm not even gonna try to remember which ones they were because I forget, but they're at the bottom of my bookshelf on my TBR. Okay, so number 8 is probably one of my favorite questions. It's newest fictional crush. This one is easy and I kind of want to leave a moment of like silence to see if any of my friends can guess this. But if not, I'm going to go ahead and say it. It is Aspen from the Selection series. I love Max, and don't get me wrong, but Aspen just like, the way Kiara Cass, or is it Cass? Anyway, it's not the point. The way she writes her books is insane. Like, whew. I can't tell you how many times I read something that America said to Aspen or Aspen said to someone else and cried. Like, genuinely cried so hard that I was like Snapchatting my friends like, oh my god, I'm literally gonna die. Like, this book is killing me. So Aspen, you have set my standards way too high for men nowadays. Thank you for that. Number 9 is newest favorite character. And for this one, I have no idea. Marley Thames from the Selection series, just because she reminds me a lot of myself as far as her personality. I wouldn't do necessarily the stuff that she did, but if you know, you know. But okay, now I'm going in with the bronzer, powder, setters, and highlighters and blushes. So number 10 is Book That Made You Cry. I feel like this is kind of an obvious answer. I've already mentioned it. A Thousand Boy Kisses. That book like mentally messed me up. I wasn't ready for that. And also the Selection series really like, oh, it killed me. And as much as I loved the Speak series, I for sure definitely feel like the last one of the series, which is Isla and the Happily Ever After, that one was like, oh my god. Like that one, something happens in the book, it's like kind of sort of towards the end, and it made me cry and cry. I understand why I can't be best friends with these people. Like it actually hurts my feelings. I feel like an honorary mention should be that I cried probably 18,000 times reading the After series. And Elle Kennedy's books. And Colleen's. I don't really have like, God, they all do that, you know. Okay, number 11 is Book That Made You Happy. This one, there's so many that I feel like it's kind of weird for me to be like, oh, well, it's like this one, like, there's so many. There's so, like, every book on this bookshelf is the reason why I read. Like, that's how happy it makes me. A lot that I don't own that I would like to own at some point. I know people are gonna think I sound insane, but I feel like all of the Off Campus is probably like that, and Hopeless, but Hopeless makes me cry a lot. Off Campus is more one of those books that like everyone knows that knows me, like genuinely knows that that book hits me so hard that like it's just one of those books where if I'm in a bad mood, there's someone like throws The Mistake in my lap and I'm like instantly happy. Okay, number 12 is Most Beautiful Book You've Bought So Far This Year. I'm bringing it off the shelf to show you, but it's The Betrothed from the Selection series. Or I don't know if it's, technically I'm not sure if it's a part of the Selection series or not. I have not read it. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't read it. It's sitting up here because I saw it and took advantage and was like, I need to buy this book. Do you see how, are you kidding? Is it not stunning? I love that for me. Last question is number 13, and that is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And it's so sad how many I need to read. Okay, I'm currently reading ACOTAR, or the first one of A Court of Thorn and Roses, because my best friend Bets, which you've seen tons of videos with her, or not with her, but you know, of her. Anyways, she wanted me to read that series. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it because I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about fantasy, but it's okay. We're gonna try it. And if I don't like it, it's fine. Right after I get done reading that whole series, or if I don't like it after I get done with that one book, then I'm going to be reading the Addicted series. I've already ordered the first book. I hate my life. I read the rest of Colleen's books that I haven't read. I own All Your Perfects, but I haven't read it. I need to read maybe someday, maybe now, maybe then. I think that's the order it is. I'm not even sure, to be honest. I need to buy Finding Cinderella. I've read it, but I have not bought it. I've also read Verity and don't have it, so that's another one I need to do. I need to read the Pucked series. A lot of people talk about the Pucked series and how good it is. Why am I blanking? I know about it until I don't think about it, you know what I mean? Like, it's in my Goodreads because I needed to figure it out. Oh, the classics, Pride and Prejudice, Wuthering Heights, Jane Eyre, and I feel like there's another one. I kind of want to read the Hush Hush series, Gabriel's Inferno. That was another one. Oh, the Moxie one, because Josephine Langford, who plays our Tessa Young in the After series, is going to be one of the cheerleaders in the movie. I don't know when it's coming out, but I know that they filmed it around the time that they filmed After. Or like they wrapped After and then I think went to the PCAs or something, and then that she filmed that before all this Rona-ish happened. All the Bright Places, that's another one. Nothing More, Nothing Less is another one I really, really want to read. I've been wanting to read that one since I finished the After series. I also bought this book called Chasing Lucky, and to be honest, I only bought it because I think the girl's a photographer and she's like in England or something and like falls in love with one of the guys. And if you guys didn't know, I'm obsessed with Paris, and it's just ironic that my best friend lives in the UK. So needless to say, I'm obsessed with British men. Regretting You's another one. That's a Colleen Hoover book that I see on my TBR. Going in with my mascaras for my finishing touches, if you will. Another one that I want to read is Looking for Alaska. I've read The Fault in Our Stars. I own Looking for Alaska, but I haven't read it. How stupid is that? I really think that's about it. I really can't remember a certain other series other than that I really wanted to read. So that wraps up this week's video. Like I said in the beginning, this will be a reoccurring weekly type series on my channel that I want to start out. Yeah, if you guys liked this video, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, stay tuned for next week's video, and I will see you guys then. Take care.